Welcome to Dustin's Kaleidoscope. I'm your host, Dustin Dumas. If you're new here, this is a show where I speak with leaders who are doing extraordinary things and share the stories behind how they've made it happen. But today's episode is a little different. We're diving into the topic of goal setting, but not in the usual write it down and visualize it way. Instead, I'll walk you through 5 powerful practical strategies that can help you actually set and achieve your goals, with real life examples that reveal why some dreams take flight while others never get off the ground. Number 1, keep your ideas to yourself at first. I get it. You have a spark of a new idea and you want to share it. But here's something you might not realize. Sharing your idea too early can suffocate it. Let me give you an example. Years ago, I had a very good friend who noticed a specific row of restaurants in his area that were super popular, especially during lunch. People ordered from them all the time, especially during work hours, but no one wanted to leave their desks to pick up food. Each restaurant had its own delivery person, but there was no way at that time for you to order lunch from one place and then dessert from another place. In other words, there was no consolidated system. You would have to order from each individual restaurant and hope that everything arrived at the same time. This obviously did not always happen, so my friend thought, why not create a service that picks up from all of them and delivers more efficiently? A great idea, right? I think you know where I'm going. But he made the mistake of telling it to someone who had zero experience in the restaurant industry, had never used a delivery service, and did not even order takeout. That person responded, "Why would I ever pay you to do that?" And just like that, the idea was dead. One uninformed opinion was enough to kill a potentially viable business before it got any traction. The takeaway: protect your ideas, develop them, let them mature before you expose them to unnecessary criticism. Not everyone needs to be in on your dream, especially at the beginning. If he had stuck with his idea, he would have been a forerunner to the delivery food service we take for granted today. Someone went forward with the idea and executed. Number 2, get advice from the right people. Seeking advice is very smart, but who you ask matters just as much as what you ask. Years ago, I was thinking about working and living abroad. I was excited, but unsure of how to go about it. I spoke to a few people who, although well meaning, had never lived internationally themselves. Their immediate response: "That's not going to help your career. You'll fall behind. International experience doesn't matter." Luckily, I didn't stop there. I also connected with professionals in my field who had held international roles, people in my industry who had worked in Europe, Africa, and Asia. They were full of practical advice and walked me through what steps I needed to take based on where I was in my career. Fast forward, I didn't just work in one country, I ended up working in two. That would not have happened if I had only listened to people who couldn't see the possibilities because they hadn't experienced them. I really want to emphasize how important it is to seek advice from people who have actually done what you want to do. If you ask anyone else, it's just theoretical. Number 3, make your goals realistic for your timeline. Let's talk timing. People often have ambitious goals. That's great. But sometimes they expect to achieve them on a timeline that just doesn't make sense. For example, say you want to become a lawyer. That's a solid goal. But no matter how motivated you are, you can't get a JD in one semester. The coursework is structured over several years. Even the most accelerated programs take time. Or take a non academic example. Say you're organizing a major fundraising event. It includes catering, entertainment, ticket sales, and sponsorships. You can't just decide 6 weeks out and expect to pull it off with impact. You need time to plan, coordinate, and promote. And that only happens if you work backward from the event date to today and break it down step by step. I had a friend who did exactly this. She chaired an event and started planning 9 months in advance. Venue secured, early sponsors lined up, promotions running on schedule. It was a success because the timeline matched the ambition. So many times we have goals, whether personal or professional, that fail because the timeline is unrealistic. Start backwards and look at the steps needed to get to your goal. Number 4, know why it's your goal. Let me give you a relatable example. A friend of mine noticed everyone she knew was vacationing in Costa Rica. Gorgeous hikes, waterfalls, zip lining, surfing. This is a paradise for the active person. So, not wanting to feel left out, she booked a trip herself. Here is the problem. She absolutely hated it. She doesn't like hiking. She hates the sun. She does not like outside activities at all and is not very active. She would prefer an air conditioned hotel room, watching television, and ordering room service. But the pressure to fit in led her to adopt a goal that wasn't actually hers. This happens all the time. People chase a job, start a business, or go to grad school, not because it's something that they want to do, but because it looks good on social media or it's what their peers are doing. Is this goal really yours? Does it align with who you are and what you want out of daily life? Because if it doesn't, succeeding in this goal might still feel like failure. Number 5, consider the long-term lifestyle impact. Here's one more story. I had a work colleague who dreamed of owning horses. She went to equestrian events and fell in love with the idea. Eventually, she bought a small farm and a few horses. At first, it was fantastic. She had the new boots, she had the grooming brushes, the riding lessons, and, of course, the horses. But a few months in, reality hit. Owning horses meant early mornings, high cost, constant maintenance, vet bills, and zero free weekends. She didn't have time to ride, and the dream turned into a burden. Eventually, she sold the horses and the farm. Her vision was based on the spectator's view, the polished highlight reel, but the day to day reality was nothing like that. So ask yourself, what does this goal mean for me in my daily life, my finances, my relationships, my peace of mind? Success should enhance your life, not quietly overwhelm it. So when you think of that goal, whether it's owning a small farm with horses or a second home on the beach, think about the long-term lifestyle impacts. Do you like horses that much? Will you be able to visit the beach house often or just once a year? These are all of the things you should seriously consider when choosing goals. So let's recap. Number 1, keep early ideas private until they're stronger. Number 2, seek advice only from those who've done what you want to do. Number 3, set goals that align with realistic timelines and then work backwards. Number 4, understand why this goal matters to you. And number 5, consider how this goal will impact your lifestyle in the long run. Goal setting is more than wishful thinking. It's a strategy. It's a process of aligning your vision with your values, your effort with your calendar, and your dreams with your daily reality. Remember, it's okay to dream big. In fact, I suggest everyone have a stretch goal. Just make sure your goals are yours, that your timeline makes sense, and that you are prepared for what comes after you reach them. Thank you so much for joining me on this episode of Dustin's Kaleidoscope. If today's conversation gave you clarity or made you rethink your approach to goals, please share it with someone who might find it helpful. And if you enjoyed this episode, don't forget to follow, rate, and subscribe. It helps more people discover this show and keeps the conversations going. Thanks so much for being here. I'll see you next time. Bye.